Gonzalez, and this is my Assignment 0 Java program. Yes. Alright, we're going to start off in the public class for salesperson. This is where we're going to have our constructor for the salesperson object, the getter and setter classes for each of the values, and then the methods we are going to be using in our driver class. So here we're starting off with the variables, first private string, first name, last name, and then private double, monthly salary, monthly sales. Those are private because we don't want them to be accessed without a getter or setter function. And then here is our constructor, the three arguments, string first name, string last name, and double monthly salary being set to this specific object in the constructor class, and then monthly sales being set to 0. And as we go on, we have the setter and the getter classes for first name, last name, which they're both pretty much the same, just the argument being the string, public void, this first name equals first name, and then the getter just returning first name. Remember, public string, also the getter returning the last name. The setter functions for monthly sales and monthly salary are pretty similar. All it is making sure that the monthly salary and monthly sales cannot be set to a negative number. And here we go. It is if monthly salary is greater than 0. I guess this should be greater than or equal to 0. I'll set these two to monthly salary, then it will be set to it will set that specific object's monthly salary to the argument provided for the setter class. If not, it will have a print line saying the salary cannot be negative, and then the same for monthly sales. The setter class will have the same thing. If it's a negative number, if it's greater than 0, if it's a positive number, then it will set the argument as the object's monthly sales, and then if not, it will set the print to, it will give an error message and it will repeat. And then the getter class is pretty simple. It's just returning the monthly salary and the monthly sales of that specific object. And then here we go, the public double for the calculated monthly earnings. It's just returning the monthly formula, or the annual formula, so 12 months in a year, monthly salary times the monthly salary, and then the commission, the 5% commission times the 12 months of the year. And then meeting the quota, it returns if monthly sales times 12 is greater than or equal to 50,000, and then it will, if it is greater than that, greater than or equal to, it will return true in the Boolean, since this is the logical operator. Let's move on to our sales test, which is going to be our driver class. So here we have just the imported scanner, the public class sales test, and then the main method. Here we have the two sample test users, or there's two sample salespersons being created at the beginning, since we are going to be using our setter and getter functions later on to change these values, or the setter functions to change these values, creating the scanner object, and then the salary and sales, just so we can make sure to get those and get those values and input them into our setter classes for monthly salary and monthly sales, or setter method. Whoops. Here you go. So this is the beginning of that driver. It's just the formatting of the output. So it'll be the print line, first name. It will take the input for the first name, set the first name, and then the last name, it will do the same. It will set the first salesperson class, the last name as what is inputted. And then here is the do while, just making sure that the salary that is being inputted is not less than 0. If it's negative, it will keep asking for monthly salary, and then if you do put in a negative, it will spit out that error. And then the same for monthly sales. And then here is the same thing for salesperson 2. And then here is the final output. So it will print the first name, last name, both obviously using print F to have the first name and the last name side by side without, concatenating a bunch. And then here is the same for annual earnings, using float with significant figures of 2 at the end, so it's only 2 decimals. We're dealing with money. And then just making it is calling the met quota method for the first one. And then if it's true, star seller. If it's false, needs more training. And then the same thing for user, the second sales person. And here it is being built. Whoops, I have it in here. First name, I know there was. I'll use the sample output given here. So it will be John Doe, the monthly salary of $3,000, then -500. Sales cannot be negative. Monthly sales 5,000. Salesperson 2, Jane Smith. Monthly salary 3,500. Actually, we do just -1,000 just to show that the monthly salary does the same. 3,500. Monthly sales, that is 10,000. Here we go. That is the final output matching. So it is John Doe, annual earnings, star seller. Jane Smith, annual earnings, 48,000, star seller. And that is my program. Thank you. Have a good one.